Hey there, my friend. This is Dave Wood, and I'm standing out here in my house in Costa Rica, and it's really raining right now in the background. I don't know if you can see that. Of course, it's not raining here as hard as it is raining right now in Florida, which we've just had some massive disasters with first Hurricane Helene, and then Hurricane Milton is coming up right afterwards. I don't recall ever in my life seeing anything quite like that, where one hurricane comes from one direction, then immediately afterwards another one comes from the other direction. In any case, the message of this video is not about hurricanes. Obviously, if you're in Florida, my heart goes out to you and goes out to your family. It's more about change. The world is actually changing right now at a decent pace. I think there's a lot of things that are changing, not just one. We're in the middle of a bunch of political changes. We don't know which way those political changes are going to be, but either way, it's going to be a change, right? In the United States, we're either going to have, Kamala Harris on the one hand or Donald Trump on the other hand that is going to be elected into the presidency. Which one do you think it is? I'm curious to hear in the comments. I'm not going to make predictions at this point in time, but it's going to be a change no matter what. And with change comes upheaval, and with change comes a bunch of things that are going to be shifting in the background for all of us. Things that are going to be shifting in economics, things that are going to be shifting in policy, things that are going to be shifting in business. And of course, then we got the hurricanes in Florida, and I think those people's lives just shifted around quite a bit, as actually the winds were shifting their house from one location to another in a lot of cases, and bringing tidal winds and tidal waves and knocking homes over, and a bunch of people died and everything like that. And so that was obviously a disaster. And then there's a bunch of technology changes. We've got one development coming out with AI and then another development coming out with AI. And technology itself in a lot of areas of society is changing at a pace that it's not even really possible to totally keep up with it, even if you're working in that field and even if you have a really high IQ and you read a lot and you pay attention to the news. It's moving so fast. And so we've got AI developments where we've got one development coming, then another development coming, then another development coming. And then before you're getting used to one development, they're releasing a new model of that totally breaks the previous one apart. For example, we just had the recent ChatGPT upgrade that has superior reasoning. I don't know if you've seen it. What's it called? The O1 model or something like this. I have no notes. This is just stuff I'm noticing. And so that model in particular is a lot better at reasoning than the previous models. So the previous models, their reasoning was maybe at an IQ level of like in the 90s. And this model has a human equivalent reasoning capacity to an IQ of about 120, but with an unlimited knowledge base. And so AI is advancing incredibly quickly. As I've mentioned before, if you take a penny and you double it every day, in 23 years, the entire world is nothing but pennies down to the very core of the earth. And then in 63 years, the entire universe would be nothing but pennies, actually, if you just continue to double it. And that's actually how fast, not if you double every day, excuse me, if you multiply a penny by 10 every 10 months. So it's growing by an order of magnitude every 10 months. And an order of magnitude is pretty significant when it's starting to surpass normal human level intelligence in most kinds of activities. And so ChatGPT is also basically in short little bits, it's writing better than most people. Not better than everyone, but it's writing better than most people. Now, it's not writing equivalent to people if it writes something that's like the length of a book because it forgets what it's doing, right? Have you ever been involved in ChatGPT and tried to get it to write some sort of extended novel or something like this? It forgets what's going on with the stories. And if you go to Gemini, it also forgets. They all do this, where they can't remember what was happening, 15 places back. They can't remember the story and the character development. And so all the plot starts breaking down. So for obviously long-term stories, for writing things like books, human-created content is still dramatically superior. However, that's not going to be the case for very long. And the reason is really simple. If ChatGPT, the new model, is already competing with a human-level IQ of around 120, and it is, if you look this up, right? If you just give it IQ test questions, it'll complete the test at an IQ level of 120. It'll complete exams and all sorts of stuff it can do with the intelligence level it's at right now. Well, if that's the case, very soon it's going to be doing it with an IQ of 140, and then it's going to be doing it with an IQ of 200. but then it's also going to be remembering deeper and deeper and deeper and further and further and further and further until it can just, boom, in 20 seconds, write a book from the start to the finish without making any mistakes in the plot, without forgetting what's going on. So this is coming right around the corner. My point is, the world is changing very fast. The weather's changing. We've got climate change or global warming. I actually just did another video about that that's not published yet that talks about how in the last, since the, Industrial Revolution, we've already increased the global temperatures by over 1 degree Celsius, which of course we're dealing with a problem where if we go 2 degrees Celsius more, we can get rid of the whole coral reef and all this kind of stuff. So the world is changing. Technology is changing. We're experiencing political upheaval. The only thing that I hope is when, machine intelligence is superior to human intelligence. Number one, it's not evil. And number two, maybe we can get rid of politics and just have the machines do it. And so then we can all just be like, brothers and sisters, one big family, and work together on stuff. I don't know if that'd be actually better or worse. So don't quote me on that. But in any case, my question for you is very simple in this video, and that is, are you changing? Are you changing? The world is changing, but are you changing, or are you staying the same? Are you moving forward, or are you staying the same? Are you staying the same that you were last year, and the same that you were the year before, and the same that you were the year before? Or are you also advancing your knowledge, your life, your ideas, your vision, your business plans? Are you advancing in your life, or are you going backwards, or are you staying the same? Because if you're staying in one place, if you're staying at one level, but the whole world is going like this, it's not very long before you're going to get left behind, right? So my encouragement to you in this video is to start being willing to be flexible as a human being, to change and to adapt your strategy. Always remember this, that you want to preserve the core of what's important to you, but you want to also stimulate progress. Preserve the core, stimulate progress. There's things that are important to you as a human being that you don't want to change. Maybe those are your beliefs about God. Maybe those are your values. Maybe those are your family values that come from your history, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe that's the way that you envision your future or your goals. But everything else can go. Everything else can change. The world is moving at a breakneck pace, and I hope nobody's neck actually gets broken in the storm. But stuff's getting broken. Trees are falling down. Houses are getting thrown into the river. Rivers are uprooting and covering cities. The old way is dying down, and a new world's being born. And the question is, are you being reborn? Are you making yourself new every day? Are you uplifting and elevating your level of thinking, your level of skills, your level of communication ability? Because if you're not, you're going to get left behind. So pick up the books, watch the YouTube videos, listen to the podcast, engage your mind in personal development, go to important seminars. I went to a seminar this last week, and I'm going to another seminar this weekend. You've got to get yourself around the people that know how to move on and go with them. Sometimes it's just about riding coattails, because I'm telling you, we ain't in Kansas anymore. And if you understand what I just said there, you understand the metaphor, then let's work together and figure out how we can move, adapt, and change and advance in life faster than the external changes that are happening in the world. With that, I'll see you on the beaches of the world the next time. Sunny. Talk soon.
What? It's me.
Yeah, all right. Good ramble.